Hello and welcome to the locker room. I'm Nick Lynch and I'm joined by Ben Heltzer, Myles, Berkowitz, and Jake Minardi. So we're going to talk about the NFL for now. But just to move to the AFC East, that Patriots-Bills game on Sunday night, I mean, that's a great win for New England. I mean, the talk in Buffalo was how many points are the Bills going to beat the Patriots by all week, and the Patriots just go into Orchard Park and defeat Buffalo.
Yeah, statement win, and it makes teams wearing their rivalry jerseys 0-2. Obviously, we saw the Cardinals lose to Seattle last week. And the Patriots are a good team, man. I have them, as far as the AFC goes, I have them at number 3, right below the Bills and the Colts. Obviously, they just beat the Bills, but I'm still going to put the Bills above them. But the Patriots are a really good team. I can see them making a playoff push come January.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's weird seeing these new teams sort of rise. The Colts, I think the Pats are going to be really good this season, heading into next season. I think they have a bright future, which is good for you, Myles. But it's weird seeing the Ravens 1-4. It's weird seeing the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are still good, so I shouldn't say that, but definitely teams who have regressed. Also, great game for Stephon Diggs. I mean, I guess I would say revenge game. He was thinking about it all week. 146 reception yards. 10 receptions. Great game for him.
Yeah, I really don't know how he pulled that one off, to be quite honest with you. It was incredible. That was like the first meaningful football game that I've watched as a Patriots fan, like since Tom Brady left. And again, Stephon Diggs, a lot of off-the-field drama, but as long as he's producing on the field, I don't care what you do outside of the field. And just with the defense, it's been turned around so much by Mike Vrabel, and it's really a great thing to watch.
I mean, Jake, what you were talking about before, speaking of regressing teams, how about the Miami Dolphins? I mean, like from what they were last year to a team this year, I mean, they're 1-4. I mean, the question is, I think, how much longer does Mike McDaniel have in Miami?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the root of that problem is coaching. And we said it all last year, or like at the end of last year, Mike McDaniel should have been gone. He's still here somehow. And I think that they really need to move on from him if they want any success.
Yeah, I mean, they blew a 17-point lead in Carolina. I mean, but if McDaniel does get fired, I think he would make a great offensive coordinator somewhere else.
I definitely agree. But as a head coach, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not it.
Yeah, I don't see him making it past Thanksgiving. He really has shown nothing, especially this season, to prove that he is capable of commanding this job. And you just look at the guy. He doesn't look like a football coach. He doesn't look like he belongs. He's like skinny, 5'5". Like that's like a normal guy commanding these big guys, and I don't think they respect him, to be quite honest. I think Tyreek Hill definitely didn't respect him. I don't know if Tua even respects him.
I'm going to be honest, I completely agree with Myles. I agree with what he said. And also, I do not think he has much time left. I mean, you're looking back 3 years, I would say 2 years. I don't know if you remember, they beat the Broncos 70-20. And we were looking at them as one of like the most higher powered offenses in the NFL. And to look now, I thought they had a great future. I thought, they had chances to make playoff runs. But looking at them now, I would say it's definitely disappointing. And I'd say Mike McDaniels is definitely at fault now. And I do not think he has much longer at all.
I mean, yeah, I agree. And then the last AFC East team, the New York Jets, the only winless team in football now. I mean, they don't even have a takeaway yet of any kind. As hiring a defensive-minded coach, I feel like that's kind of shocking.
Yeah, no, they're bad. I mean, actually, looking at the game, they didn't play horrible, especially in the second half, but they just got punched in the mouth early and just couldn't recover. But if I were to take away anything from the game, I would say to utilize that run game and utilize Breece Hall. He had over 100 yards, 113 to be exact, and he had 42 yards receiving. I think that he is still one of the best players on that offense, if not the best, and I think they really should utilize him more.
I also think they should take advantage of Justin Fields' legs. I mean, I think that they need to maybe make some more design plays for him to run. I think that could get the Jets a lot of yards.
I agree with that.
I just don't think Justin Fields is that good. Like, if you can't throw, why are you even playing quarterback? Just convert to running back at this point. Like, he has proven for 5 years that he cannot throw the football, and we're still giving this guy chances. It's unbelievable, and that's why the Jets are on 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly just disappointing to watch the Jets at this point. Like, I feel bad. I'm a Giants fan. so it's not really any better. But I mean, Jets fans have just gone through the worst, and to look at it now, 0-5, really just no sort of direction, to be honest. I mean, I don't know where the future goes with them. I mean, it just sucks for them. And with Myles, I wouldn't say I completely agree, though. He's shown struggles with throwing the ball. You look back at his Ohio State days and just different days early in his career, he can definitely throw the ball, but I don't know where it sort of went wrong. I definitely don't think he's the guy that's going to get them to where they want to be full time. So,
Yeah, like, how much time are we going to give this guy? Most people, when they get fired from if they don't do well, they get fired from a job. Justin Fields, he does terrible. He gets a $20 million contract a year from the Jets. I don't know why we're still giving this guy a chance.
So we're going to move to our Week 5 MVP. So for my pick, I'm going to go with Mac Jones. I mean, former New England Patriot. I mean, he played, I think he broke almost every bone in his body in that game and still threw for 33 for 49, 342 yards, and threw for 2 touchdowns. I mean, Mac Jones, he helped the 49ers win. I mean, what a game that was, too. Goes into overtime, and the 49ers stopped the Rams on 4th down. But I think that, the game ball should have gone to Mac Jones in that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. He balled out on Thursday night, and it really, honestly, begs the question of what they're going to do when Purdy comes back. Purdy has proven to be a decent quarterback, but Mac Jones is performing really, really well in that 49er system. And I think that, if Purdy comes back, he looks a little shaky, they might want to put Mac Jones back in there.
I mean, I think Purdy's still going to be the starter, but I don't think they're going to rush him back.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they paid Purdy $50 million, so I think it would look really bad on them if they didn't start Brock Purdy after he comes back. But looking at Mac Jones, I think this proves that Kyle Shanahan really wanted him when he was coming out of college, and he took Trey Lance instead. But I think that Mac is very fit for that system. It's a very intermediate passing. He can do it. He doesn't really have a great arm, which is what we saw in New England. But if he can continue to hit those intermediate passes, I don't see why he shouldn't be the starter.
I agree. It's very comparable. I mean, I wouldn't say too comparable, but his position he played at Alabama, he's one of the best. He ranks up all time with one of the best Bama quarterbacks because of how he performed with those receivers. And I think with the sort of scheme that Kyle Shanahan has, like you said, I think he fits in perfectly there.
Yeah.
Who do you guys have for your Week 5 MVP?
I'm going to start off with mine, or go after you. I'm going to go to that Tampa Bay-Seattle game, and I'm going to say Emeka Egbuka. I mean, he is a clear front runner for me for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he might even be in that Offensive Player of the Year conversation. He has been electric. You saw 7 catches, 163 yards, and a touchdown, and it just seems like he's always open. And him paired up with, obviously, Mike Evans is hurt right now, but when he comes back, that Tampa team is looking really, really scary. Baker's playing as good as ever, and I think Egbuka is just what he needs to maybe even lead this team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Myles and Jake, what about you?
Yeah, you watch Egbuka and you're like, all these Ohio State receivers are incredible. Every year they keep producing these guys, and they just come right in the NFL. It doesn't even take them any time, and they just continue to produce. It's great.
Yeah, like you said, with the Ohio State receivers. Also, JSN from Seattle, an amazing game. I was going to go with him for my player of the week. I was between him and Baker, but I'm going with Baker Mayfield. I mean, just what a game. Really, I'm picking him because him and Emeka Egbuka are on my fantasy team, and they really helped me win in 2 of my leagues this week. So just great performance, and I'm really impressed with Emeka Egbuka. I mean, clear front runner for Offensive Rookie of the Year. And like Ben said, I mean, it's going to be scary when the rest of the receivers on the Bucs come back because, man, what are they, 4-1, and Baker is playing an MVP. I really was angry earlier in his career when he wasn't given a chance fully. After the Browns, he brought them to a playoff win, and then after that, I feel like he was sort of thrown away in Carolina and different places, but I'm really glad that he's doing well. He's a great quarterback, and I'm glad to see him doing well.
Yeah, he's a really tough guy. I watch him, and all the throws he makes are really great.
He's electric, too. I just love watching him play. The
Yeah.
energy he brings.
Yeah. So for my play of the week, I picked Rico Dowdle, running back for the Carolina Panthers. He had 234 all-purpose yards this year, or this game. Who saw that coming? Like, he's a backup to Chuba Hubbard. He got injured, and now against the Dolphins, I know the Dolphins don't have the best run defense, but still 200 yards, that's something to really be impressed about.
Well, that's it on the NFL this week, but don't go anywhere. Noah and Luke will be joining us to talk about college football.
Welcome back to the locker room. I'm Noah Muller, joined by Jake Minardi, Ben Heltzer, and Luke Jaclin, and now we're on to college football. So we had a pretty crazy week in college football, a couple upsets and a lot of good games. What I want to touch on first is Alabama versus Vanderbilt. Alabama kind of ran away with that game, and I think it proves a lot of things. I think it proves that Vandy could very well sneak into the playoff, but I don't think they're ready to take that next leap yet. I think there's more development there. Not saying Diego Pavia is not a good quarterback because he's great. I just think Ty Simpson and that offense is so overpowering. I think Ty Simpson is the clear-headed Heisman favorite right now. Obviously, we're a couple weeks in, but, I mean, the Alabama offense has just been great.
Absolutely. I mean, it's nuts how quick things could change in a few weeks, right? You know, a few weeks ago, everyone's overreacting with the loss against Florida State, saying, you know, the Bama dynasty is done, they're screwed. I mean, they were saying things about Ty Simpson, but Ty Simpson, I agree with you. He looks like the clear Heisman favorite. He looks awesome, throwing the ball over the middle. I mean, just everything. Vandy, I would agree. They still have one more extra step they have to take before they get to becoming like a high-level SEC team like that where they can make the playoffs. But still very impressed. You know, we know Vanderbilt's history, and I'm impressed with the way Vanderbilt's been playing. I didn't think they were going to beat Bama again, but, you know, I think they played them well, and I like the fact that they're still ranked 20. I think they can make their way up to, you know, 15, 14, and, I mean, you never know what happens this season. They could very well sneak into playoff, but like you said, I don't think they're at that step yet.
Yeah, I agree. Vanderbilt, obviously, for a while, was one of the worst teams in college football, the worst team in the SEC, and I think there's just a good step forward for them that they're now ranked. They're at least competitive with good teams. They're not getting blown out every week. And maybe not like the top of the SEC, but they're at least a good football team.
Exactly. At least they're a competitive team.
Ben, what do you think?
I just think, you know, everything that you said, Ty Simpson has been looking amazing. He had over 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, and he's clearly the Heisman favorite. Alabama looks like back on track to me. They went into Georgia and beat them, and now they just beat Vanderbilt at home. That's 2 huge conference wins, so I think that Alabama's looking as good as ever right now.
Yeah, no, Alabama's been looking great. Moving on to the next thing, how good is Miami? They're ranked number 2 right now. I think they have a very explosive and dynamic passing offense. I think the defense has been great, too. I mean, this is the most premier we've seen Miami in a couple of years. I mean, Cam Ward and them were very competitive last year. Obviously missed out on the college football playoff, but how good have they been? Because Carson Beck has looked great. All the receivers have looked great, and the defense has been amazing as well.
Yeah, I think the difference really between this year and last year for Miami was really just defense. I mean, Cam Ward could do it all last season. We saw that. But in games where he couldn't, you know, the defense really was just not able to hold up. I mean, you're looking at scores from last year. A lot of the games they won against, like, regular ACC teams, the defense is letting up 40, 45 points every single game. And, you know, this year, Miami's defense honestly looks elite from what we've seen so far, along with the offense. So I think they're the real deal. I think they're a playoff team. You know, obviously have to see how the rest of the season goes out. I think looking at their schedule, honestly, they go undefeated. I mean, I don't see why they don't. There's always one of those games where they blow one, you know. But looking at the rest of the schedule, there's really no like ACC team right now that's gonna, you know, stand out and beat them.
Yeah, I agree. Miami could easily go undefeated in the ACC. I don't think they're really a title contender right now. They're a very good team. They took help from losses from like Penn State and Texas, other big teams. And yeah, the ACC is kind of weak, so they should easily make the playoffs, could win out in the ACC, but I don't think they're top level to compete for a national championship right now.
I think it's great if you have a quarterback that can play hero ball, but it's even better if you have a team around him that can pick up the slack when he can't. And I think that's exactly what Miami has that they didn't have last year. So I think that, I could absolutely see them making a push for the championship.
Yeah, I think there are some more teams that have more of that experience in the playoff, but I do think they're a good contender. I do think he has a great team around him, like Miami had last year. And I think they can make a push for it realistically. Now, so the top 10 got released this week. Top 3 teams were Ohio State at 1, obviously. Then we had Miami at 2, and then we had Oregon at 3, shadowed by some other teams like Indiana, Texas A&M. What do we think of the rankings this week?
I still think, I agree with a good amount of it, but I still think it's very raw. Early into the season, a lot of teams need to prove themselves. We see Texas and Penn State completely just jump out. I think they were 1 and 2 to start the season, right? But, that's just nuts to see. I think what I'm taking away from this all, though, is that I personally think Ohio State is still the best team in the country. I mean, they look the most complete all around. Their defense has let up about, on average, 5 points per game. And Julian Sayin hasn't even really, fully figured it out. And now that in the past 2 weeks he's been sort of on a roll, obviously he's playing some lower level teams now, but that's what you need to sort of get going. I think they're looking scary, and I honestly think Ohio State's going to push for another national championship. But I also think that Oregon and also Texas A&M I'm very impressed with, and I would like to see how they do because looking at the schedule, Texas A&M has a very good chance of going undefeated the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far away from Penn State and Texas, though, because these are 2 teams that everyone expected going into the season to be at least top 5, some of the best teams in their respective conferences and in the entire league. But Penn State going on losing to Oregon, which is okay, fine. Oregon's a great team. They still looked okay, but then they lose to a winless UCLA. And then Texas losing to Florida, these teams are really underperforming, and it's crazy to see Drew Aller and Arch Manning look just not like anyone thought they would look.
Yeah, I said a couple weeks ago that I didn't think Penn State, we could trust them as one of the top teams in the country until they beat a good team because we had never really seen them do it. Losing to Oregon kind of just proved it again, yeah, they really can't beat a good team. But then they lost to UCLA, and it makes you think, is Penn State even that good? Because UCLA hadn't had a win all year. They had barely led at all. They weren't good. Their quarterback had a whole issue at Tennessee and left to go to UCLA, hadn't played well. And
just lost all their coaches, too.
Yeah, they just fired everyone, and Penn State just couldn't beat them.
Yeah, honestly, the thing that shocked me the most is Penn State because, obviously last week it was the same thing as always, right? They're the number, top 5 team, and they lose a big game as always to Oregon, but they lost it in a close game. So I'm like, all right, they'll have their normal 10-2 season, probably lose to Ohio State, they'll beat all the bad teams. But now you see the way they performed last week, and then you look at the teams they played earlier in the season. They really didn't dominate against 3 almost FCS teams early on. So, I mean, I would really start to think about how good Penn State is. I mean, how many games can they lose because they honestly don't look too good this year. Not even as good as they have looked. And for James Franklin, it's been lackluster because it feels like a 10-2 season every year, and that it's always just going to be a loss to a big team.
They still have to play Ohio State and Indiana.
Exactly.
I just don't know if they'll even make the CFP this year.
Yeah, if they want to make the playoffs, they're going to have to win at least
they have to win.
one.
They'll
maybe
have
both
to
of
win
those
out.
games. Yeah.
They're not going to win out. They're
No,
going to lose
no.
to Ohio
Yeah,
State.
I know.
With the way the key for Penn State is getting this run game going, and they did not do that. They did quite the opposite against UCLA. You had Katron Allen, who didn't have a great game. You had Nick Singleton, the big senior, who everyone thought was one of the best running backs in the nation, 11 carries, 39 yards. It's not a great job by Penn State getting that run game going. I think James Franklin should be gone. I think he should have been gone by the end of last year. And what I really want to talk about in the poll is the rise of Indiana, because Indiana, they had Curtis Rourke last year. I didn't think he was a great quarterback. I thought he was a serviceable quarterback. They have a great quarterback this year. They have a Heisman contender this year, and they look better than they did last year, and that's scary purely for the fact that they were top 10 last year. And I didn't even think they had that great of a football team. And now they're number 7 right now. I think they're just going to keep on winning. They might lose a game or two in the Big Ten, but besides that, I think they're a great football team. I think they're going to make a push in the playoffs, and I think it only goes up from here for them.
I completely agree. I think they just got an amazing coach who completely turned everything around last season. I didn't think they had that good of a team last year. I think they sort of took advantage of, weaker Big Ten teams and made their way in off of a loss to a good team. But this year they look way better. Like you said, Heisman candidate quarterback, and it's really only up from here. Great coach, great quarterback, and they're only building in Indiana. So I'm excited to not only see what they can do the rest of the season and going into the playoffs, but really the future of their program, because this could be the turnaround of it all.
I think Oklahoma as well. I think them and Oklahoma are in the same boat, kind of. They have 2 great quarterbacks. Oklahoma and Indiana ranked 6 and 7 respectively. Like, those are 2 really good teams that can make a push, and pull off some upsets that not many people are going to see coming.
Yeah, especially when Mateer comes back for Oklahoma, because he's out right now and they're still winning football games.
Yeah, apparently Mateer's making a push to come back for Texas. So, I mean, if he comes back, just give him a statue in front of Oklahoma. Like, that's just nuts. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see how Texas plays against Oklahoma, because Arch Manning's already not playing good against mediocre teams, and it really just in general. So I really want to see how Arch Manning starts to play.
Yeah, he needs more time to develop, in my opinion. Well, those are our opinions on college football this week. Don't leave just yet, though, as Myles will be coming back on with us to talk about the MLB playoffs. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the locker room. Right now we're going to talk about the MLB playoffs and more specifically the Yankees series. As of last night, the Yankees just got their first win of the series by a score of 9-6. And Luke, as a Yankees fan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you guys are still somehow going to win this series?
Not at all. I mean, you saw those first 2 games when we got destroyed. Game 2 looked closer because we scored runs at the end. It didn't really matter. Game 1 wasn't close. Vladdy's been absolutely killing us. He's had a home run in every game, hit that grand slam. And even in Game 3, he hit a 2-run homer to go up 2-0 early. And the Yankees, eventually, you're going to have to stop giving him good pitches to hit. They're going to start doing Aaron Judge if he keeps hitting. But I don't see how they win 2 more games against this team.
Yeah, I completely agree. But, good for Aaron Judge. It only took him 8 years to finally do something in the playoffs. But looking ahead, you guys have Cam Schlittler going tonight, the rookie. He looked great his last playoff start.
Yeah, against Boston.
Yeah, against
Shut
Boston.
them down.
Yeah, I know. 8 scoreless somehow, but he looked good, and the Blue Jays are going with the bullpen game, so this is very easily could be winnable by the Yankees.
Yeah.
I think it's a very winnable game. I think the Blue Jays really showed off how their bullpen was last night. They looked like the midseason Mets. But the Yankees finally got some hitting going last night. It was a good scene, definitely in New York. I think that is the only game they'll win this series, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it happens again. I think Schlittler does good, but I think realistically the problem is going to be that the Yankees can't hit. They always have a game like that in the playoffs. First 2 games, the Blue Jays showed that they can dominate them, so I don't see that changing.
Yeah, I completely agree. With the bullpen game, I just don't see how they could pull this off.
Yeah, I agree and disagree. I think that they win this game. I think that they win Game 4, but I don't see them winning in Toronto, right? Obviously, they're going to take advantage of the bullpen game, but just the way that the Toronto Blue Jays won in dominating fashion, first 2 games, I mean, over 10 runs. They could just score at will, basically. I don't see how the Yankees could keep up, but I do have a little bit of optimism after last night. Seeing Judge hit, seeing just a lot of the guys step up. I'm not fully giving up on them, and I'm excited to see what they could do, especially with Schlittler pitching tonight. I'm really excited to see how he does.
Yeah, I agree. If the Yankees could manage to win tonight, though, you're going back to Toronto. You have Max Fried pitching, who they killed, and the Blue Jays will have Kevin Gausman pitching, who killed the Yankees. So I don't really like that pitching matchup right now. You're going to have to do better than those 2 did in their first games of the series if the Yankees want to win. But more importantly, if the Yankee lineup gets hot, anything is possible with them. Aaron Judge hitting a 100-mile-an-hour pitch probably 4 inches off the plate off the foul pole, somehow keeping it fair. And that was a changing point in the game. You could feel momentum switch. You have to keep that momentum on your side and roll with it and just hope the offense could catch fire and keep going.
Yeah, the one issue the Blue Jays have is that they don't have any lefty guys to face Ben Rice, Jazz Chisholm, Austin Wells. Like, they have no guys that they can put up in that pocket of lefties that I feel confident in stopping them. So that's the one way I think the Yankees could come back in the series.
Yeah, and Jazz had that big go-ahead homer yesterday after the Aaron Judge three-run homer.
He was yawning in like the second inning. I guess he woke up and did something.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be it this week for the locker room. We'll see you next week, and hopefully next week the Yankees will be eliminated.